Hi everybody, CCRG here. I'm making this video blog post about calorie counting. It's one of the first weekly goals that we have as part of the challenge is to calorie count for those that are interested in doing it. So first I want to let everybody know that calorie counting is not a diet. Calorie counting is a tool. It's much like Weight Watchers, which is very successful. What they do is it's a conversion system for what a food is worth. So basically, all foods are not created equal, all carbs are not equal, and our bodies and our hormones, everyone reacts to food differently. So, but it's the same principle as Weight Watchers and a lot of other principles, and that's restricting your calories or restricting your intake so that way you can lose weight. It's all about restricting your food. So basically, calorie counting is a tool to teach you portion control and how to moderate. Now, there are a lot of people that find difficulty with calorie counting, and I've asked some questions of some of the girls on the website and on the blog and Facebook page, and I wanted to know, like, what are some of the hang-ups that would cause a person not to stick with calorie counting, because once I was taught how to do it myself, it was really simple and easy, and I just stuck with it. I think the biggest point of calorie counting is are you ready to make a change? All steps towards health and greatness and weight loss is going to require creating new habits. It's going to create getting uncomfortable and being willing to change. All these habits are about taking necessary steps to make time to change your life. We are what we repeatedly do. If we continue to do the same things we've always done, then you can't expect to change. So it's one of the first things that I want to say to you. If you don't want a calorie count, or you're apprehensive, or maybe you tried it and you couldn't stick with it, I really want you to say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to create the time, and I'm going to make this work. If after a few weeks or maybe a month, if it's still not working for you and you found other effective ways or tools to help you in your journey, then by all means. But we can't know if we like something or if it's going to work for us until we've really given it 110% effort to do that, okay? So I wanted to talk about first, like, what you need to calorie count, and I brought some tools with me. This is straight out of my kitchen, and you can see it down there. I'm not even going to bend over and get it. It's a food scale, and what I want you to be measuring is all your grains. I measure everything before it's boiled in water and had water weight added to it, and that makes it more denser and takes up more space in your measuring cup. So measure your dried goods before you add water to them and cook them. Measuring cups, quarter, half, full, use them with cereal, or even your scales even more. I do not ever trust a bag or a box if it says approximately 10 chips, because you are deciding that you wanted some sort of indulgence, and you're like, oh, I'll just count out 10 chips. Well, you might actually get 13, or you might actually get 7. So I definitely want you to be using your scale. They're $15. It's a digital. I've had to replace my batteries once, but I use it for meats and that sort of thing. So meats and grains basically is what I use my scale for. And snack goods in the past if I felt like I was going to have an indulgence. I still use these every single day in my kitchen. Not as often my scale, no, because I can pretty much look at a food and know, and that's what this calorie counting is going to teach you. It's going to teach you what a normal portion looks like for you. It's going to moderate that for you, and that's really important as part of learning a healthy lifestyle. Is we are accustomed to eating large portions, and now we've cut that down to what should be the standard American diet. And then it's normal portion sizes. So scales and measuring cups and measuring spoons are all going to help you with that. And yeah, I don't even use, I use teaspoons and tablespoon measuring for absolutely everything, and I stir with it and stuff. So I don't think I ever really touch a normal spoon. I am a creature of habit, and like I said, that's the whole point of calorie counting, is that I want you to give it a try. I want you to stick with it for at least a month. And if it doesn't work for you, then you can move on. but I will also let you know that I think even in a month's time, if you felt like it wasn't working for you, that you have gained a better understanding of absolutely everything you have eaten, because when you're looking and reading food labels, you're going to quickly realize how much calories, and not only that, but carbohydrates, protein, fiber, sodium, and your other nutrients are exactly in how much of these foods. I think you're going to be really alarmed, as I was as well, when I was going through and learning exactly what was hidden in all these foods that I was eating that I thought were healthy. And that was also in my journey of moving towards natural, clean eating, and moving away from a lot of that stuff where I necessarily didn't have to read as many labels anymore. And I know that was one of the concerns that someone had said, that if you eat really wholesome and natural foods, it's hard to really label exactly how much you've had. Now, I'm going to say that I don't particularly think it's a huge deal for any of my people that I coach, or ever for myself, that you had to particularly count all your calories for a lot of the vegetables out there. There are a lot of sweet vegetables, very starchy vegetables that are important in regards to your carb count, and they will affect your blood sugar and affect your running and that sort of thing. We could talk about that in the future in regards to carbs. But a lot of basically your green leafy vegetables, if you didn't measure it out to be perfect, you could pretty much round it about, 20 calories for something is probably pretty normal for a green vegetable and whatnot. So I don't make a huge fuss over that sort of thing. So how to make time. I have this book here, and I tell everybody that's how I started. I journaled. I wasn't into apps. I found the whole process of learning how to do everything tedious and time consuming as well, and I definitely did not want to have to be diving into my phone to learn apps. I didn't want to have to be online and learning apps. It wasn't until maybe 6 months into my journey of calorie counting that I learned of sparkpeople.com. I did create my login account there, and I used it religiously for about another 6 months. And then on again, off again after that if I hit plateaus and whatnot. So again, calorie counting is not something you're going to have to do forever. If you can pretty much learn how to eat proper portion sizes, you can discontinue the tool. You will have learned what you needed to learn from it, and then you can move on. So I want you to make time. So basically what I would do is I would enjoy my meal. Don't let calorie counting rob you of enjoying your food or your social time. This is not something that should be taking you a long time. I want you to have the right mindset about calorie counting. I want you to be excited about it. I want you to be challenged with it a little bit in terms of like meeting your goals and being excited when you have met them. So enjoy your meal. But when you are done, and it only takes about 5 minutes, you will write down exactly what you ate. You will look at the food label. And one of the biggest things, and maybe I'll put some tips in the blog more precisely with pictures showing you where the unit size is and how many units are in a thing. And then once you get it measured, I'll teach you that a little bit more written. It's kind of hard to explain here right now like this. But I'll go ahead and share some more tips with that and how to read a label. And I may have already done that in a past blog post, but I'll definitely teach you how to do that again, so that's not a problem. So I want you to just write down really quickly exactly what you ate that meal, tally it up. Should only take 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes times 3 meals a day is definitely worth your life. It's that simple. This is your life. You have 15 minutes. You need to save your life. If this is what you need to do to be healthy, to get your food back into control for a little while, then this is what you need to do. And I'm really serious about that. So how to record, like I said, I did pen and paper. At the end of the day, I would go breakfast, lunch, dinner, any snacks in between, if I had a protein shake, etc. At the end of the day, I would add up my calories. As you can keep it just as simple as calories. When you felt ready, you can go a little bit further, and you can tally up when you're doing your calories what your carbs were for that meal. You're looking at the label already. You're going to see it was 25 carbs, and maybe you netted 3 fiber, so you'll figure all that out. So you'll get a better idea. So and then other ways of recording is livestrong.com, MyFitnessPal, Spark People. There are lots of apps out there, so use them. and there's a lot of you that are sharing each other's IDs, and I think it's wonderful, and support each other. And last year during the holiday challenge I had done that as well. I wasn't able to really stay focused with everybody. I understand that there's 300 of you in there, and I'm so honored and privileged to watch each other, support each other, and give tips, and we walk this path together. And there are many of you in there that have lost a significant amount of weight or in the middle of their journey, inspiring and motivating the ones that are still in the beginning. So power on. I'm never going to be upset about that. So rock on for doing that with me. So clean eating does make it simple. If you don't have a lot of labels off of processed foods, you're not going to have too much to worry about. So, but then again, it makes it a little bit tedious because you don't have a label for carrots on a bag necessarily if it's fresh produce and whatnot. So that is where these websites can be useful, okay, like Sparks People. Once you have implemented that food into your intake account, you can just click on it later on. You can say carrots and pull it up and then put in there how many portions you've had at that particular meal, and then boom, it's going to give you all the information about it. And the other thing I love about those apps as well, and I fell in love with Spark People, is because at the end of each day I would get the report and I would know exactly how many carbs I ate to my protein to my fat ratio. I would also track my fiber. I aimed, because I was on a reduced calorie diet of, at the time, 14 to 1600 was a large majority of my time where I was at while I was losing. I aimed for about 18 to 20 grams of fiber a day, which they say 2,500 or 25 grams for a typical standard American diet, which is about 2,200 calories a day. So I felt like I was having normal bowel movements, and I felt healthy and vibrant, and things were being taken care of the way they need to, and I felt full, and that